get it, get it, get it. Ow, ow, ow. Show them, girl. Yeah, boom, boom.
My channel, if you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. In today's video, I'm going to give you a little bit behind the scenes of a day in the life of an entrepreneur as a candle business owner. I'm in the process of relaunching my business and rebranding my business, so I'm doing a little different things. In this video, I have a new office space. I'm going to be putting together a desk. I am also going to be making some baby shower favors for my cousin's baby shower, which you'll see as well. I might take you along on my little ride that I'm going to take to look at a venue because I want to host a sip and pour, or I think I'm going to call it candles and cocktails. I'm not really sure what I'm going to call it yet, but I might take you out on that as well. So stay tuned, and if you're interested, check out my video. All right, so I ain't no handy woman, but I did buy this desk for my apartment, and I really liked it. It really wasn't that hard to put together, and so I decided to purchase this one for my office. So we got to make it do what it do, put it together, and hopefully it's as smooth as it was when I first did it. I went to school, so I know how to read instructions. So as long as the instructions are pretty self-explanatory, I can follow along. And I use the images to figure out what it is that I need to figure out. They do label the parts that I need. They do label it on the packages, so that makes it very easy. But when I look at the pictures, it tells me what part to use, and it goes from like, let me see. It goes from A to N, and then it has some number parts that goes from like 1 to 17. So let's get started. You may hear me stop and talk to y'all depending on if I got something to say. But for the most part, I think I'm going to speed this part of the video up because I'm going to listen to my Pandora, vibe out to some Giveon, so we can bust this thing up. So stay tuned for the final product. Content for me and your mama. I'm going to do one. I want to try to do 3 videos today, but that's a lot, right? So I'm going to use this one as a video, and then for Aisha Candles, I want to record us doing the candles, and then I'm going to just do a separate one, which is pretty easy, and I'm going to do a video on like the supplies you need to start a candle business, so that should be like real quick. You got the supplies in? I got everything we need. I bought the poly bags, the thank you cards, the thank you stickers, the fragile stickers, and I bought the packing peanuts is in the car. And I do want to sit down and type up the formula to make the candles, and which scents is going with which jars, because I want to start making the candles, especially because we got that event in Kendra. So I have 2 cases of beeswax coming in today, and 3 more scents coming in, the other scents. So we can start with the classic collection because we have the classic jars and the classic scents already. Yeah. You know it. People thinking like I'm bugging the fuck out, just sitting here staring at
I'm about to finish making my cousin baby shower favors. I have these jars here, and I have these right here. You can see them, like it's a little oil. I'm gonna make these, and so that's what you're about to see me do real quick. Stay tuned. So I'm about to make my cousin baby shower favors. I have 2 different jars. I'm doing these little tiny jars, which is going to be on the table as little centerpieces. And then I'm doing these big jars, which will be the actual giveaway favors. I'm going to do 2 different scents. I'm going to do pink lemonade, and I'm going to do my Downy Fresh scent for her. I'm going to use white coloring. This is what it looked like. I'm going to use white color dye chips, and I'm going to do honey because it's like a boho theme. So the honey color will be like a tannish, brownish type of color. So if you just stay tuned, you'll see exactly what I'm about to do for the rest of these jars that I got to make. So I put the amount of wax that I wanted in my jar. I checked the temperature. The temperature's at 200. I like my wax to get to 185, 187 before I add my fragrance oil, because you don't want the fragrance oil to burn off. And burn off means that once you actually burn your candle, you won't really smell the scent because it didn't bind together. So I like 185, 187. It helps bind my fragrance oil and my wax together. So when I pour the candle and when my customers burn the candle, you can still smell the fragrance and it still will light up the room. But if you pour your fragrance oil too hot with your wax, it'll burn the wax. It'll burn the fragrance oil off and you won't be able to smell your candle. So now I'm gonna wait for this to cool down. It may take like 5 or 10 minutes or so. But while I do that, I'm gonna go and do something else really quickly, and I'll be right back. Before, I'm going to add some dye chips. The dye chips that we're going to be using is honey, which is like a brownish tan color. And I'm going to enter my dye chips. I'm going to drop my dye chips in now before I add my fragrance oil. It doesn't make a difference when you add your coloring. You can add them before or after. I put mine in before. I'm going to start with 2 and see what that color looks like. I just stir it all in. As you can see, the color is brown or tan. And so the lighter you want it, the less color that you use. The darker you want it, the more color that you use. Stir it, mix it all up. I don't think I want it too dark, so I'm going to just leave it like this. This will be good. We don't want it too dark. We just want people to get the point, baby. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my fragrance oil. I thought I had some cups open already. Maybe I didn't. So I'm going to do a video on what supplies you need to start your candle business. And I will go more in depth about the products I use. But these cups right here, I get these from the dollar store. They're paper. They're really, really good. I will tell you a story about not these cups, but I used to use a different type of cup, or I tried to use a different type of cup. It was a horrible experience. And so I learned the hard way. But I use these right here. I also use a kitchen scale to measure out my fragrance oil. I'm going to check the temperature really quickly to make sure that it's at a good number for me to pour my fragrance oil in. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. And also, when you add your fragrance oil, it actually drops the temperature of your it drops the temperature of your wax as well. So that's why I say sometimes I go a little over 185 because once you add it in, it's going to drop drastically. Yes, and so now we stir. You stir it really, really good. Like, this is the part that some people mess up on because stirring helps your fragrance oil and your wax to bind together, meaning that you want that wax and that fragrance oil to mix together very well. So when you are burning your candles or your customers or whoever you're making your candles for are burning them, they smell really good. You want your hot throws to be amazing. So you make sure you just stir and so your little heart can't stir no more. And as you stir it, you smell the fragrance oil like it smells really good. I love this fragrance. This is my pink lemonade. Oh my god, it's one of my top sellers and I love how this scent smells. It's so sweet. It's so sweet. That smells amazing. I'm sorry, I wish I could smell it. Y'all could if y'all go shop at BellaRosaEssentials.com, of course. But this smell is like very amazing and I love it. So they typically recommend that you stir your wax for 2 minutes to make sure the fragrance oil and the wax is bonded together. The pan is getting tight, so we're gonna switch this up. So typically once I add my fragrance oil and I stir it up, I like to just pour my wax, which I'm gonna do anyway. I like to pour my wax immediately into the jar, but what I do is I like to I like to check the temperature first before I pour. And so right now we are at 175, which is good. So it may be some spillage around some of the jars, and that's fine. I'm gonna go behind, and I always clean my jars with alcohol after, before I put the lids and stuff on. Right here, I'm just using clothespins to center my wicks. I prefer to center my wicks doing this step. Some people just let them, solidify like this and go back after. I feel like that's more work. I'm not doing that. So you would have to use the heat gun to recenter your wicks, and once the wax is already hard, you gotta melt it back down. That's too much. I only like to use my heat gun if I need to fix any imperfections in my candles, like the sinkholes that I said that may be cores. But we'll see how these turn out. Some of them may have sinkholes, some of them may not. But if they do, it's a very easy fix, so I'm not concerned. Some people buy wick centering tools, like they have actual wick centering. And I have some somewhere, but I prefer to use clothespins because those things become very costly. And if you're mass producing like candles, like a whole bunch of candles, you're gonna be spending a lot of money on centering tools. So I choose to do it like this. So this one, and this happens sometimes, this one the wick actually came out. So we're gonna leave it like that, like so. What I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna take this one out and I'm gonna pour this back into the jar that it originally came out of. And what I'll do is I'll clean this jar out later and I might repurpose it. We don't waste no wax around here, okay? Wax costs a lot of money. To ship wax, it costs a lot of money because it weighs a lot. My wax usually costs me about, I usually get about 45 pounds of wax, which can run me like $70, and then my shipping be like another $50 or $60. So it'd be like damn near another case of wax. So when I say we don't waste no wax around these parts, we don't waste no wax. If I've had excess wax sometimes when I pour my candles, what I do is I put it in the wax, like a clamshell, which basically is how I make my wax, what I put in for my wax melts. If I don't have that, I'll find something to put it in, and I'll find a way to burn it down on a wax warmer or whatever the case may be. And actually for this one, look, because this one wasn't all the way full. I don't know, let me see if you can see it. This one wasn't full to the top, so guess what? We are going to use the wax from that jar that just messed up and pour it in here. Look at God. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? See? Problem solved. Told you we wasn't going to waste that wax. So I'm going to let these solidify. Here, we're going to come back to them and check them. I'm going to finish the rest in a minute, but it is 5:30 and I actually have somewhere I need to be by 6 o'clock. So I'm going to do that. When I come back, I'll finish off these candles and I will show you the finished product. So exactly what I be trying to avoid happens sometimes. So like I said, sometimes it's inevitable. And so you see that little hole, that's called sinkhole. But the way that you fix it, because it doesn't mean nothing wrong with your candle. It happens sometimes. Like I said, it could be the temperature on how hot or how cool you pour it. It could be the temperature of the room. It's a lot of different factors on why you get sinkholes. It's very easy to repair sinkholes. All you would do is, I usually get, let me see if I got one. Hold on. Oh, I get like one of these shish kebab sticks. What you do is you will poke a hole to go all the way down in there, and then you will use a heat gun to heat it up. You'll let the top layer of the candle fall, the liquids will fall inside the sinkhole and will fill it up. Once it fills it up, then you'll stop using the heat gun and you'll let it just solidify and it'll clean the tops. The same thing happened with another batch that I did. These had sinkholes. Some of these had sinkholes. This first batch that I did, but all I did was exactly what I told you. I put the thing in there, and you can see the difference. Like, it's a smooth top for this teal one. Right, y'all, so thank you for watching my video. I know this one was a little lengthy, and I'm so sorry about that. I try my best to shorten it as much as possible, but you got to see a little bit of the behind the scenes of what it is that I do as a candle business owner. I will be doing some more videos like this. I'm going to switch it up. I am going to start being more consistent with my content and posting. It's been a lot going on, but I definitely want to take y'all behind the scenes on this journey of my relaunch and my rebrand. Let you get to know a little bit more about me, about the candle business. I have some other videos that I'll be dropping real soon. So y'all stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you share. And thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next.